Hey everyone, welcome to the Love Your Body podcast. I'm so excited about today's episode because I know you've all been waiting to hear how it went at the Nashville Fit Show 2022. First off, I just want to say a huge thank you to Spread the Positive, to Ambition Threads, to my coach, Heavy D Training, to my friends that were supportive throughout the show, Rondell Clark and Katie Strength, and the girls I competed with, and my grams of fat. Like, it's very chill, it's really good. I love the bars, but I would eat, like, a couple of those, like, throughout the day to keep me going just because, like, I would be so hungry or I, like, couldn't withstand, like, waiting 3 hours to eat my next meal, right? Because I do a lot, I train clients all day long. I'm on my feet. I'm doing a podcast. I'm selling fight. I'm all over, you guys know. So, there'd be times where it was like, I needed the little gold bars and stuff, and then or someone would make me agitated, and I was like, oh, I just need that little bit of chocolate or a little bit of whatever. Even though it was healthier, it still was too much for what I was trying to do. So I put on here, could have cut out the gold bars sooner, didn't stop till like July. Okay. I put in here, I had a few dizzy spells from too much caffeine because I was drinking a lot of fight, and just in excess. And I had never drank more than like, you know, 300 milligrams in a day. So that was something else. Overall, my body felt fine. It was more about my leg regaining function. I never was really that sore from the workouts. Some days I just rolled my eyes at everything I had to do. So that was a lot of days. I would just look at the plan and know exactly. I knew what the workouts were because I had to repeat them, and I would just roll my eyes and be like, "Yeah, this sucks. Like, I don't want to do this." And then I'd be like, "You're doing it. Stick to a program." Because pretty much for me, if it's written down, I'm going to do it. If someone tells me just do it, I'm going to do it. That's just how I've always been. And then from there, something else, forgetful, and I dropped a lot of things. Yeah, I was kind of spacey a little bit, and throughout it, just because again, you're having going from an influx to tapering down, tapering down, tapering down, tapering down, and then dropping a lot of things. Like I just was all, again, my life is so fast paced and moving around all the time. I'm trying to keep up with like all of my clients. I'm trying to keep up with, all the prep stuff and everything I have to do and just everything. I mean, and family stuff. I mean, there's just so much. And so that was something I had to hone in on, my clients' times, and I had to be very mindful and on the Stairmaster, like continually messaging them, texting them, like making sure everyone knew what was up and the programming was on point, all that stuff. So it made me more organized actually. And this all made me a lot more patient as well. Um, I would say, oh yeah, cold for the first time in my life. That's another thing. So some people had said on my Instagram that like it was an insulin thing, like it was like your insulin drops or whatever from not having that much food. No, like even when I was like before the cut of my prep, like having like regular amount of food, I was getting cold because when you're a larger body size, you have more body fat, and then now you have less body fat, like to that significant amount, like you get cold, and I love it. Like it's actually like really cool because I have always been that person. Like right now, I'm sweating because I just came from a sauna and for my workout. But I'm in prep for this next show, this natural show, which is literally in 3 days. So I'm super excited about. But literally, guys, like I would be that person at the bar, or I'd be that person in a meeting, or I'd be that person with my friends, or the person on a date where I would just sweat around my face. And like it was really embarrassing. And you can say, "Oh, well, Daniel, like, don't care, like, love your body." Yeah, yeah, I can love my body while understanding that I'm trying to flirt with someone and I don't, you know what I mean? Like, they can't kiss me on the cheek because I'm sweating because I'm so nervous, you know what I mean? Or because I'm so like my body, like, it's just bigger and I'm just producing heat, right? So that was always something that, and people always pointed it out. And so when I was younger, I was very self conscious about it, and then got over it during like being an adult. But that was something too. And then the other part of it was, I let's see. Mm. So I kept competition and comparing to very little. So I'm really glad I wrote this down because it's true. I did not follow other girls on social media. I had my friends that I followed, but they really didn't post a lot. And then the other thing is like I didn't follow a bunch of pros. I wasn't trying to have like unrealistic expectations. I wasn't like, oh, I want to look like that girl and that's what I'm gonna look like, and that's it. Like, no, I wasn't comparing to anybody else. I was just comparing to myself every day and focusing on like being that annoying quote that everybody says like 1% better. But I mean, I don't know if it's 1% better, but like I'll say like I just focus on doing what was asked of me. Right. So if 300 floors on the stairs was asked of me, then I did it. If 2 workouts a day was asked of me, I did it. Just like if a client needed to get in, I trained the client, and trained 15 clients in a day. If I was asked to do something with like, my family or whatever. Like I made a priority. I went to California. I went to Kevin Hart. I went to do all these things. I tried to have a balance. Like I was so proud of myself to look back and say I did everything I wanted to do, because when I had done a way less calorie meal plan before and very strict, the trainer had put me on and lost some weight and whatever. I didn't look strong. I didn't look like I wanted to, like everybody else. I didn't like it, and it was miserable and it wasn't sustainable. And when I did that, I don't know, it was super annoying, and it was like I don't know, I didn't have fun with it. And it was weird. I didn't like it. And so with this, it was like there, I never went out. I never saw friends. I just was by myself a lot, right? And I wasn't by myself a lot. I was by myself a lot this time around, but it was totally different. And I chose what I did, and I went um did things that I stepped out of my comfort zone, and it was so great. So I'm just super excited with that. And let's talk about show day. So show day, I got a great makeup time, and I worked with Maximum Beauty. And so Official Makeup by Marissa on Instagram. She did my makeup, she's the girl that braids my hair. It was epic. She did an amazing job. From there, I went and got my hair re-straightened. I'd already gotten it straightened at Blow Dry Bar in Hillsboro Village by Alexa, and that was great. I, let's see, I went after that, I like ate my breakfast, and then, which was great. Felt really good. Got ready with my girl Katie. And then we were competing against each other, and we were super cool. And then after that, we went to and the night before, I checked in the hotel, got my spray tan, everything. I was actually walking around, and I said hi to everybody, and people didn't even recognize me. Like, people walked right past me. I was like, "Hey." And then 5 minutes later, they came up to me like, "Dani, I'm so sorry. I didn't even recognize that was you." And this is me, like, just straight hair and pale. And so it was just wild. And so that was cool. And my mom and Lorraine, they helped set up the booth and got all that taken care of. So I didn't do any of that. And they're doing that this weekend, so Saturday, for the show, and which is at Patterson Park. So if you want to come out for that, it's Rondell Clark's show. It's an all natural show, so it's OCB, not NPC. And so the difference in both of them is, like, NPC, they don't test you for steroids, and OCB they do. So it's just different federations, just like with strongman. There's different federations, and I always did strongman corporation. So this is going to be really cool to see. Like, I started out with a bang. Like, I started out with the best makeup, the best hair, the best tanning, the best show. Ran really well. I did the Overcomer Award. My commercials played up there. My clients came. My coach came. My parents came, my brother came, like, I wore my Love Your Body robe everywhere. I was dancing, it was so hype. It was so fun. And then this show will be very different. I won't really have as and my two best friends that came to support. My clients gave me a gift. Like, everybody, it was so sweet. It was so thoughtful. Like, it was amazing. And then I had people on Instagram reaching out, and people, even competitors, being like, you're gonna crush it. Like, girls that I had never even spoken to, didn't even know who I was, didn't know that I was sponsored, didn't know me, were like, "Man, you look so fit. Like, you look so great." Like, and I was just like, you have to understand, like, there were so many things that happened, so many gyms in the day that, like, honestly, when I first went out there, I didn't know how I looked or how I felt. Like, and I did my poses, I did my routine, did comparisons, whatever. Went off stage, and I looked at the pictures that my parents and people sent to me, and I was like, "Where am I at?" And I looked at the girls, and I'm like, "That's me?" Like, I was so taken back, and it was amazing. Like, my pose, everything was on point. I could not have done better. And so, and I know it sounds like I'm, like, boasting and gloating or whatever, but, like, it again, guys, y'all heard me on here. You heard me how challenging it was in terms of, getting through the trauma, the pain in my leg. I mean, just overcoming adversity over and over again to set a goal and do it. And not only, the thing is not only do it, but, like, I think a lot of people expected to just be like, "Oh, like, that's cute. Like, good for you, Dani. Like, get up on that stage." You know what I mean? No, I went out there and slayed it. Like, didn't I, Trent? Yeah, he's nodding. He's nodding. But you know what I mean? Like, it's like, and it wasn't like, for like, once in my life, it felt like how I danced when I was like 14, like, before I put on my weight. It felt finally like I was back to me, because it wasn't like, "Oh, like, for the big girl, you did a really good job." You see what I mean? It wasn't that anymore. It was, "You looked amazing. You crushed it." Like, there was no but there was no like negativity around it. And it was so great. And it made me feel so awesome because, again, not just because, oh, I look so pretty. It was because every day that I decided to choose myself and I decided to get up out of bed at 4 a.m. and 3:45 and 3:30, and 5 a.m. some days, like whatever, and get up and not quit and not miss a Stairmaster, for cardio and not miss a workout and not miss a sauna session and not miss a client and not miss, talking to my dad and like on the phone and not miss opportunity to hang out with my friends. And I mean, just all the planning and the work, it seriously just came to fruition and it was beautiful. And I was so, so happy. And I'm so glad that I got to partner with Whitney Weiser for this show and for the Overcomer Award and to be a sponsor and represent loving your body throughout the journey and no matter what size. Because truthfully, even if I would have been leaner or placed, by the way, like I placed 5th out of 5 and 4th out of 4. And but I put myself out there. And that was 4th in the open category. And open's very competitive, but yet people, I know there were some girls that didn't believe in themselves that didn't sign up for open. And if they would have, they might have beat me and done a great and like gotten a place that they never got before, So it just goes to show you, if you show up for yourself and you believe in yourself, no matter what anybody says or whatever, like you can accomplish amazing things. And, I want you all to hear this story and hear this perspective that yes, there were times where I was like, man, I just want to sit back and eat, or I'm sad and I want to do this and I'm sad, or, I'm angry and I want to do this. But at the end of the day, I got through it and got over it. And I also kept the goal in mind. And so when I hear people talking, and they're just like, oh, well, this is your profession or this is your whatever. It's like, no, bodybuilding is not my profession. Like I'm a certified personal trainer promoting a healthy living regimen, lifestyle regimen, helping people to gain confidence, love themselves, whatever. There were firefighter women, there were moms, there were people going through divorce, there were people getting married that all were competing. Like this is not their profession. And they did it too. You know what I mean? And crushed it. So don't let that be an excuse for you that, oh, well, it's just not, again, you're just not planning and you're not preparing and you don't want to fix or change the food or the, whatever you're in that you don't like. You know what I mean? I got to the point where I knew something had to change. So I had to seek out a new coach. Like I had to seek out or a new program, like the bodybuilding. I had to seek out with the food. I had to find those things. Didn't just come easy. I didn't do it all myself. Like I tagged my coach and everything. I tagged my trainer. I tagged my posing coach. Like I asked for help and I got it. And and I feel so successful. And I think that so many try to do it on their own, but then they just chalk it up to, oh, well, it's just, it is what it is or whatever. Well, if it is, then like, again, like that, then it is, then you're settling for that and just own it. Like, that's fine. And I've always said that before. If a client comes in, it's like, hey, like last night I had a whole like cake. Cool. Own it. Like, thank you for letting me know. There's no judgment. Like, that's fine. Like, do I think you can be better than that? Yeah, 100%. But tomorrow or today, like, just don't have a whole cake, have half a cake. Like, it slowly get better. I mean, with my whole plan, I slowly got better. I started drinking less. I started, like I said, I started having, instead of the Reese's and pizza, like I started having like steak and rice. And then from there had leaner meals and stuff. I mean, you taper and taper up until a show and you go through the prep and stuff like that. But I mean, I was eating meals on my prep, like on my show day. I felt good. I had my alpha cookies, which they're amazing. After the show, I had, went to Mellow Mushroom, enjoyed that, went out with my best friends. Like, it just, it was so fun. And then like after this show, like I'm gonna go have some dinner, hope with my family and do that and just enjoy the night, rest up, and then back at it. And a lot of you have asked me like, what's next? Are you gonna like put your weight back on? And it's like, no, like the whole reason I first started this was, yeah, I kind of knew I wanted to do a show, but it was just to again be healthier have a healthier mindset and have a healthier be healthier physically because of my ligament injury. So that's still the forefront. Like, and there were times throughout this, I started to notice I got a little bit weird with the body dysmorphia, a little bit, and a little bit obsessive kind of with the pictures and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, rein that back. So I reined that back in a little bit. And then from there, even at the show day, I was like, is that me? And then I looked in the mirror and I was like, that is you. And I believed it was me at every angle, at every turn. And I look at these pictures and I'm like, that is me. Like, there's no confusion. There's no ever. And I had so much fun that it just showcased like a beautiful energy too, you know? So it wasn't just about, oh yeah, I met the criteria for the legs and the shoulders and oh, my arms look great or this or that or whatever. It wasn't. It was like all the sweat, all the tears, all the hard work, all the just being tired and exhausted like I am right now. Like it felt like how when I flipped that tire and when I did strongman competitions and lifted really heavy, being up on that stage, hitting the poses and hitting my routine seamlessly, it felt the same. And it was such a cool, like I keep saying in my head, feat of strength, which I know that's not correct. Because like again, feat of strength is like, flipping that tire and stuff like that. But this to me was a feat of strength. And it was so just incredible to partake. And again, guys, I never would have thought you could not have bet paid me money to say I would ever do a bodybuilding show and compete in this wellness division, even probably 2 years ago, when I first found out about it. But when I first did hear about it, I kind of got intrigued, and I knew that I could be better than what I was right then. But then even from that moment, that was in January of 2022, 21, January 2021, and then 6 months later, I then decided to get a coach. So I know there's some of you listening right now that are like, Dani, I want to work with you, but like, I'm just not ready. Like, and then that needs 6 months. And I have a girl that I train now who literally wanted to 6 months ago start with me, but just started. Like, I get it. It's something weird about that time. Like a half a year has to pass for people to make these big decisions. And I get it. But if I could have gone back and started sooner, right, to be able to feel like this, I mean, obviously I would have, but it all happened how it was supposed to. And it all happened in a very healthy way. And I'm so blessed for my coaches. I'm so blessed for my friends. I'm so blessed for the support of people who literally listened to me and was just like, dang, you know, that just like listened to me throughout all the nonsense and heard me and like really heard me when I was upset or thought, man, I don't know if I can do this, And I just genuinely held on to the my 3 mottos, like my slogans. Get your movement in, which I love to do because it helps my mental. Love your body throughout, which is again something that I really clung on to. Um, because what got me out of bed was fight for what you want. Like that's what got me out of bed in the morning. And then as I was doing my Stairmaster and doing my things, I'm like, love your body. Like, you feel that injury? I know, I feel it too, but love your body throughout. Stay positive. Say your prayer. Like, God will protect you through this. You can do it, you know? And I don't know, it was so cool. It was such an art. It was such an exciting thing. Like, it was so, just cool to see my body like that, my energy like that. I was backstage dancing, having fun, and to have all my people there with me. I mean, it was just such a special day. And even this competition, like I said, coming up now or this weekend, like even if I don't have anybody come for me besides my mom and Lorraine and whatever, I'll know people there and I'm gonna rock with it, hang out, have fun, make the most of it. Maybe I know some of the competitors, I'm not really sure. And just enjoy it and feel like my best self again on that stage and own it. So I'm super pumped. And I know everybody's wondering like, what's next after that? What's next after that? You keep competing or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know. I think that I am going to continue to work on myself. And if I get to the point where, my hormones are great and they're stable all the time, and I get to the point where my muscle is, continuing to actually like put on strength and put on muscle and feel strong, and my injury is subsiding, like, yeah, who knows what could happen, right? I've already been asked to sponsor other events in other states and be this body positive fitness sponsor for this space. And I love that. And again, if you're listening and you want to talk about sponsorships, want to talk about training, want to talk about even just body positive coaching, body positive fitness coaching, by all means, I would love to help. I'd love to be there for you and support you through this because I had to have that accountability. I had to have that support as well. And on some days I felt like I didn't have it, just because I felt like I was like asking too much of friends or asking too much of people or whatever. And then it was like, I had to really dig deep. But I knew that I could always lean back on them if I needed to, so I know what it feels like to, like, not have somebody, but I do know, what it is to have a great team, and I want you to know too, people may be looking at you and say, "Man, there's no way you could ever do a show," or they may say mean things to you like they did to me. But it's not about going out there and proving them wrong, but it's about feeling free up there and whatever that looks like for you, right? Um, and if that looks like being a certain weight and that was your goal and whatever, then own that. If that looks like being a certain shape, then own that. Like if that looks like you slept well, you ate properly, you did all the things, then own that. Like and just rock with it. That's all I gotta say. I mean, and you will have so much fun. But I saw so many girls be so serious and so negative backstage and stuff like that. And I would just walk around my lovely body, robe twirling around and stuff because I was just like, man, like y'all got to get through this. Like, and there's no explanation either. Like a lot of girls are like, yeah, if my booty would have been bigger, then I would have got this placing, and then this would happen. Whatever. It's like, it's done. Like you finished, like, you're done, you got your placing, own it, rock with it. Like, there's no need to sit here and post something the day after, like, like how everyone does. Well, it really took me what do they say? It's like, it's this long post coming ahead, whatever. And then it'll be like them going through it about, you know, I didn't do as well as I wanted. I'm disappointed, but like it's just like, guys, you did something that most people don't do or care to do or could ever do because they don't have the correct mindset, right? That's a win. You put yourself out there in a vulnerable state, right? In a bikini and whatever, no matter how thin you've always been in your life or thicker or bigger or whatever, it's still a vulnerable state. You spent a lot of money. I know that's right. So like there's that too. You spent a lot of time and effort. Like so at the end of the day, look at all those things and then just post your stuff. Like there's no, I don't care to say that I got, last, but I mean, I think I said it on there. I think I was like last, never felt so good. Just to let everybody know so if they were wondering, because they were wondering about like what I placed for her. And it's like literally does not matter because I looked incredible and I felt incredible. Period. Oh, well, your booty could have been more. No, period. Oh, well, you could have been leaner, period. Like, so again, you just own your thing and like I said, I had a whole list of things: body fat, weight, my suit, my tan, of things that I wanted it a certain way, and it all came to fruition as like it all was in my book like an A plus and my attitude and everything, and I kept a positive feeling throughout and didn't cry and didn't get mad, didn't get upset, and it was just awesome. So I really encourage you if bodybuilding may not be your thing, but maybe it's strongman, maybe it's dance, maybe it is boxing, maybe it's whatever, like, but you will never know until you try. And who cares if someone says that you don't look like it, you don't fit the vibe, you're not the mold, you're never gonna win, you're gonna whatever. Like, if anything, it's a great experience and you are healthier and then you feel awesome, So if I never do one again besides this weekend, like cool. At least I, tried something new and put myself out there and feel good. So I feel like again, putting in things in perspective is key, but it really was just a fun time. And I felt just like everyone, was so supportive. And my girls, Nisha and China and Katie and Vanya and Alexa, who's my posing coach, and Alexis, my best friend, and Jordan, my other best friend, like all of you were there for me and so positive throughout. And that meant the world. And yeah, so I'm really excited to do the next one. So stay tuned for that. You'll see all the pictures this weekend, and I'll continue to keep posting and keep again the mindset that guys, you can break the stereotype and you can change the situation. You just have to keep going and you have to believe in yourself. Until next time.